Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we covered a lot of ground. We got the information about the artificial Atomos that the ancient or old Thavnarian alchemists created to try to open the Void Gate. So we delivered that information to Nadana to begin work on that project. And meanwhile, we went back to the undersea ruins to run a bit of an experiment to test whether or not the warding scales actually provide protection against the corruption of the void. And Y'shtola decided to use some familiars that she conceived of as a child. And she had a little bit of a magical girl moment. Great scene. And that did prove that the warding scales do actually work, but the warding scales themselves become affected by the corruption. So we need to find a way to resolve that issue, which we've got Sid on the problem. So that should get taken care of. And Vitra's on board, the Radiant Host is on board, everybody is ready to go for this excursion to the 13th. And it also does seem to be things moving in the 13th, and there's potential conflict on the horizon. We'll see where things end up going. But we are done with all of the main story content in the game so far, up through 6.1. At the time of the recording, and so waiting for the next set of content to come out. So what do we do until then? And what I've decided to do is do the raid content. So there's two raids. There's the normal raid of Pandæmonium, and there is the Alliance raid of Myths of the Realm that we can work on. And I've kind of debated with myself as to whether or not I was actually going to do any of that on screen, and decided that yeah, we're going to go for it. Because I think both are significant. And I'll talk about that after they go through them, I think. I've been through them on my other characters, so this is not blind content at this point. So, just a heads up there. Now, it's actually been probably about a month since I last recorded. And I've been a little busy. I have been leveling my tanking jobs. So, I got Warrior to level 80. In addition, level 90, sorry. And I leveled Gunbreaker to level 90, because might be using that in the future. Paladin, of course, is level 90, but we were using that during the MSQ, and currently working on Dark Knight, which I only have up to 82 so far. So gonna push all the tanks all the way up, and then my plan is to unlock Sage and level that up. Possibly also Reaper. So we'll see. But for now, I think we're gonna stick to Machinist, because that's been working for me. And we need to go find one of the unlock quests, and I think what we're gonna work on first is Pandæmonium. So, let's see if I bring my map over here. That is going to be... We also have a couple of optional dungeons. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm going to do them. I'm just not entirely sure I'm going to do them on screen. I mean, they're interesting little stories. I mean, just like little quest lines. And the dungeons are fun. But, I don't know how critical it is. We'll see. So, the Crystal from Beyond is what we are going to go do. Nemgigi. Nemgigi nods at you as if she was expecting your arrival. It appears my calculations were correct. I knew that at this very spot I would encounter none other than Ayame, the hero who saw us through the final days. So certain was I of my math that I stood here for, well, let's not concern ourselves with that. I am Nemgigi, assistant to one Professor Claudian. We work with the Itioscope to observe the ethereal sea and delve into its myriad mysteries. Some mysteries, though, are beyond even our capabilities to unravel. The strange crystal we but recently discovered, for instance, defies our every conjecture. You've been to the center of the star and far beyond it, however, so we hope that you may see something in this crystal that we academics do not. I beg you lend us your well-traveled eye at Eorzea. Professor Claudian will be eagerly awaiting your arrival. Alright, so we need to head to Eorzea. Alright. Is that Busino, Nemgigi, and Claudian? Hello? As I live and breathe, it really is you. I assume Nemgigi was simply attempting to pull one over on me, as it were. Perhaps I should pay more heed to her wild claims. Alright. Welcome, welcome. We appreciate any insight you can provide on the matter of this crystal. Professor Claudian will share the particulars with you. Alright. What's up? Greetings, Ayame, and welcome to my humble laboratory. I am sure Nemgigi has already told you plenty about us, but allow me to introduce myself personally. I am Claudian, leader of this little research collective. I must admit, I have been nervous about this meeting ever since Nemgigi set out to find you. For a researcher in my field, there is no greater an honor than to meet the first woman in history to traverse the ethereal sea and return to tell the tale. The professor speaks often and at length of your deeds, but he has no small number of achievements to his own name. He has peered deeper into the ethereal sea than any other in Charlian, and the breadth of his knowledge is peerless. Peerless, perhaps, but for a single woman. We must seize this precious opportunity to learn what we can from her and perhaps crack this conundrum that has stumped the three of us for moons. It was we who peered into the fathomless sea from the Antitower in the Duranian hinterlands. There we spoke with Heidelin and learned of the fate that would befall this star, the final days. Soon thereafter, all research was moved to Labyrinthos, and through the Itioscope we continue our vigil. As impressive a work as the device is, however, it can glimpse but a fraction of the sea's infinite depths. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Not long after the Exodus was declared, we recovered an unusual crystal shard during a routine observation. It appeared before us suddenly, as if propelled to the surface by some unknown force. We found that it possessed an ethereal density that exceeds that of normal crystals by orders of magnitude, and its shape resembles nothing which occurs in the natural world. It was made, not formed. Unfortunately, that was the extent of the information we could glean before we were forced to turn our focus towards the Exodus. The crystal was very nearly forgotten amidst the sudden upheaval. But thanks to the efforts of a certain someone, that crisis is now behind us, and we are free to resume our research. Thus did we decide to seek you out, the dauntless adventurer who delved into the unknown and beheld its innermost secrets, and now we would have you see for yourself. Here is the crystal in question. If it resembles aught you have encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Well, that is familiar. Memory abides within this crystal. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please, tell me everything. Well, give him the rundown. And we could just break out the Asm crystal and show it to them. I see. The Asians used these to transfer their memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. It was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages. Memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. A comparison between said artifacts and this crystal may prove a fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Asian memories, windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Ayame's story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who then could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift on the ethereal sea? He appears to be lost in speculation. Professor Claudian. Huh? Yes? I'm well aware that contemplation is the key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest, one you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time? What? Ah, yeah, yes, of course, our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. Don't worry, I've been there. Perhaps a more engaging use of your time with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, they may reveal themselves to you upon contact. If anyone, message, come, Pandæmonium, please. Faces, grave threat, star, in danger. The expression does not bode well. What did you see? Pandæmonium. 'Tis not a word I have heard before. If my knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me, it means all demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystallized memory to hand. Nemgigi, Rusino, I trust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. As for you, Ayame, there is a person I would have you seek, the one who has delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. If that is the case, then discerning the nature of this pandemonium would require a trip far into the past, to an era before the Sundering. Well, just so happens that that's something we can do. I know of only one individual capable of such a feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom. Apparently people are aware of that. Okay. I must confess, the tales people tell of your adventures beggars belief, and their veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact. So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where Pandæmonium is, and if we need to be concerned by this message. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep the crystal in your possession. I do not think you have seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. Alright, so we need to journey to the ocular and approach the portal. So we're using that method to get there. All right. I think I'll talk to the gatekeep. Welcome, my lady. If you wish to go to the ocular, I should be glad to escort you. Yep. If receives this message, come, Pandæmonium, quickly. It appears we had a rough landing. Ugh. Hello there. Could it be? No, of course not. Apologies, but for the briefest moment I thought you to be a dear friend of mine. I realize now that such a notion is preposterous. You told me a falling star would appear before me, and I suppose you must be it. Truth be told, I did not expect the expression to be so literal. And there goes my chocobo. Ah, well. Won't need her. Alright. Themis. I believe we know from the little snippet we got at the end of the final cutscene of the main expansion that this This here is Elidibus, or will eventually be Elidibus. Apologies for not introducing myself properly. My name is Themis. As you can see by my bare face, I am not one of Elpis's observers. Rather, I am coming here on an assignment, which has been more or less routine up until this very moment. You certainly do know how to make an entrance. I must wonder what brought you here, for displaying that you do not belong here, or any place I know, for that matter. I'm also here on assignment. I could say I'm Azem's familiar. I guess we'll go with that, as it's probably the most believable. It appears my initial impression was not so preposterous after all. I did not know my friend had such a unique familiar at her disposal. If you are here at Azem's behest, then I believe I can hazard a guess as to your purpose. You are here to investigate Pandæmonium, yes? If so, we may be able to help one another. But first, might I trouble you to explain how you came to collide with my skull? It was a teleportation magic of some description. I see. I believe that dispels any major doubts I had concerning your intentions. Apologies for being so intrusive, but you must understand this is an uncommon occurrence. I should hope so. I shall pry no further, for I am well aware that we all have secrets we must keep. However, if I may, I would very much like to take a look at this crystal of yours. Yeah, what's the harm? Just potentially start another predestination paradox. Whatever. Fascinating. While I cannot say much as to what it contains, it's clear that there are memories stirring within. Memories that speak of something gravely amiss in Pandæmonium. The facility extends beneath Elpis and is overseen by the Words of La Habrea. It houses those creations that are highly valued as research subjects and highly dangerous to the star. Naturally, it is strictly guarded and under constant surveillance. Several days ago, however, an unnatural shift in the flow of its surrounding ether was detected. Soon thereafter, all communications from Pandæmonium ceased. I'm here as representative of an organization that works directly with the Convocation and have been tasked with investigating this incident. Now that there is some measure of transparency between us, might I offer a suggestion as to what we should do next? Alright. I need to choose a materia, which we're going to be taking critical hits. During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment, speaking with people. Yeah. Which means we're going to get gear. Potentially. Though I think that the gear that comes out of this is not, or is probably about the same as the gear that I'm currently using. 580. Crafted gear. which I really need to throw some materia on, so I might work on that. Where familiars dare. Themis is eager to commence the investigation of Pandæmonium. Now then, my proposal is a simple one. Let us journey to Pandæmonium together. Our destination is the same, and I suspect that the arrangement would work to our mutual benefit. Besides, I should have no trouble gaining us both access. I do hope you agree. I would be loath to part ways from the falling star I had been waiting for so long. Or something like that. Originally, I had planned to conduct my investigation with the friend I mentioned earlier. She had also noticed an anomaly near Pandæmonium, so it only seemed natural that we should investigate it together. However, she eventually decided that it would be unwise for us both to go. If two members of our organization were seen poking our heads about restricted facilities, it could raise questions, you see. I decided to go alone, but she left me with these words, "Fear not, for in my absence a star shall fall before you." While I could not comprehend her meaning at the time, I believe now I understand. She does have a way of being right about these things. Even so, her hints as to what to come are generally more cryptic. I suppose I should have kept my gaze to the heavens. Suffice it to say, I am grateful for your presence either way. As for the matter at hand, we must first gain permission from the words of La Habrea for entry into Pandæmonium. There ought to be a speaker waiting at Anagnonesis. So obviously his friend is Azem, and Azem knew that we would be coming. Now, I did not show it on screen, but there is a character in the game named Mikoto, an Aura, that you meet. Well, you meet her first in the Rabanaster raid series, which I haven't done on screen. And you also meet her in the Bozja content, all the Bozja quests. And she has the Echo, and her manifestation of the Echo is that she has precognitive abilities. She can see pieces of the future. So the idea that the ancients would have the ability to have some sort of precognitive ability is not entirely outside the realm of possibility, apparently. What a fascinating etheric signature. In accordance with the Convocation's request, the two of you have been granted leave to observe Pandæmonium. I shall register your ether for the records. From this point on, you may freely come and go from Pandæmonium as you please. Now, that was a painless process. I take this as a sign that we were meant to conduct our investigations together. Of course, while you have been permitted entry into the facility, the specimens housed inside must be handled with the utmost care. You are to heed the warden's instructions at all times. Wardens or warders? I misread that. Now, those who conduct their work within Pandæmonium are called warders, for their role with respect to the creatures within. Generally, creations that pose a threat to the safety of the star must be undone. However, the words of La Habrea has deemed certain such creations as worthy of further study, interring them within the facility. Those who spend their days in Pandæmonium are not merely researchers. They must work tirelessly to ensure that none of their subjects slip their shackles. For all intents and purposes, the place is a dungeon. Perhaps such a comparison arouses a frightful imagery, but Pandæmonium is a frightful place. I know not the purpose of your investigation, but if you discover aught that merits a report, pray do so with the utmost haste. Master La Habrea shall guide us upon the proper course of action from there. Ah, La Habrea. It's been a while. Then I take it that means you have detected nothing amiss of late? The warders have reported nothing that would cause alarm. Minor fluctuations in ether have been observed, but surely Master La Habrea would have acted if they were anything worth worrying about. I see. It appears La Habrea has kept well abreast of the goings-on here, then. I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries by asking, but you seem to be quite familiar with Master La Habrea. Do you know him? Well, yes. We've met. We definitely have met. That a mere familiar would have had the honor to meet Master La Habrea. He is not known to easily afford others his time, so you must be extraordinary indeed to be granted even a moment of it. Regardless, while I doubt I need to tell you this, he is of the convocation. Take care that your actions do not hinder his work. And with that, we are free to make our way to Pandæmonium. The news that will take us there is on the eastern bank of Leith. Let us delay no further. Or Lethe? Probably closer to Lethe. Yeah. So in this one, we're probably going to be learning a lot more about good old La Habrea. I had to contain my surprise for the sake of appearances, but is it true that you two have met La Habrea in the flesh? I find you more fascinating by the moment. In the flesh is a bit of a stretch. In someone else's flesh. Still, I shall refrain from asking too many questions. Secrets will make our journey all the more intriguing. We shall come to know each other in time, I wager, or else why would fate have orchestrated our meeting? In any case, let us be off. Truth be told, this will be my first time beholding the fabled Pandæmonium with my own eyes. Here's to a new adventure, eh? Yep, let's go. Well, you aren't kidding when they said it was a dungeon. That's a place. It is much as I feared. The speaker seemed in such high spirits that for a moment I thought the ethereal irregularity not nearly so grave a portent as I had imagined. Alas, 'twas a fleeting and vain hope. To gaze upon this complex network of chains and wards, the untrained eye might not sense anything awry. No effort has been spared in making this place impenetrable. Even the finest of masterworks is not without its flaws, however. Someone, or something, is tampering with the protections. It is working from within, eroding them from the inside out. Fear not, there is no immediate danger. I reinforced what protections I could the moment we arrived. This will not put an end to whatever is occurring, but it shall at least serve to slow its progress. One small victory, though the road ahead of us is yet long. Yes, powerful forces are at work here. The silence in the air speaks volumes. While I did not expect a bustling facility, I see not a single warder. Our first course of action should be to seek one out, wherever they may be. However, there is something you must know. The magic I wove upon entering requires my constant awareness. That is to say, if we are forced to fight, I cannot risk joining you in battle. Should I lose focus, Pandæmonium's protections will rapidly crumble before the force assailing them. Were there another way, I would gladly choose it, but let us at least be grateful that neither of us is here alone, trapped in hopeless circumstances. If we should fail to find a peaceable solution, then I hope I can rely on your strength to see us through. No problem. This request doesn't come as a surprise, to be honest. No. We're on board. Thank you for offering your help so willingly. If weapons are drawn, I hope to be able to lend at least a touch of magical support. Creation magics do have their uses in that regard. I had it in mind to use your ether as a basis for illusory allies that will fight at your side. Perhaps 7 shall do. Not exactly an army, but by the looks of you, a formidable band nonetheless. A very specific number. Then so it shall be. Now, what, I wonder, awaits us in Pandæmonium's pitiless halls? As for Delos, the first circle is now accessible. Well, let's queue in. And I'll go ahead and pause here, and I'll be back once it's ready. Oh, we're ready to go, so let's go. Well, there's somebody. I'll save them. I must. Straight up transformed. Appears to be one of the warders we seek, but I'm afraid he's in no state to answer questions. Perhaps you can... something. Well, we'll go, calm him down. Alright, let's see who the crew is. Warder of the Condemned. Eric Thonios. Alright. Let's get to work. Oh, hold on. I've got to turn my battle effects down or I'll never be able to see what I'm doing. Fortunately, I have a macro for that. Stack. Alright, yep, he's gonna use this chain. Do the other side. Okay, we need to see what color we are. We are blue, which means we want to be with orange, because this is a hot and cold mechanic. Alright, now we're orange, so we want to go to where there's going to be blue. And now we're blue, so we want to go to orange. Okay, now we're going to this phase. Alright, he's going to activate the orange ones. Now he's going to activate the white ones. Now he's going to combine. Alright, that's a knockback. Want to get away from that person. And stack. He's almost certainly going to do the other side. Or not. Okay. Alright, this mechanic again. Hot and cold. We need to be over here. back to this. Okay, what side is the chain on? We're good? We're good? I thought that was on me for a second. Alright, got him. Alright. Whoever's left to commend, I'll just give it to somebody. And we're just gonna roll on everything. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let's see who this guy is. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your ether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious as to what drove him to attack us sight unseen. And we're on guard. Yummy. He stirs. Oh, we did give him a pretty good beating. What came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I leapt at you, though I knew naught of your intentions. Pray accept my apologies and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. No problem. I am Erichthonios, a warder of Asphodelos, Pandæmonium's highest lair, and the place we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandæmonium? The creations interred within Asphodelos have been set free and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each layer of Pandæmonium is under the charge of a key ward, who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master Lahabrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. Remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I woke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the self-same ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Alright, well, we'll give them the rundown of what we know so far. It's not much. Horror among horrors. So Pandæmonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within? By the same individual or individuals that released the captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the Convocation. Were they to receive word of what transpired here? What measures would they take? Doubtless, they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandæmonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone? I won't leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same. Themis, I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the Convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness, Ericthonios. My decision cannot be swayed by emotion. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength and resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we made an exhaustive survey. So for the time being, there is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. Yep. If things need blown up, we can blow them up. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the skies has been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend. Oh, well. Which goes some way toward encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So, you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandæmonium yet hold, so for the moment, time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Ayame have set us upon. Themis and Ayame, yes? Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandæmonium's halls by our side. A party of 3 is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of 2. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it will be wise to approach the gates, in case any have followed you out. Alright, more critical hits. Alright, but I think that this is where we're going to stop for the day. And we'll pick up here when we come back. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.